Welcome, everyone, to a free Keith's Cacao Practitioner Showcase ceremony. The title of this program is Loving Your Darkness. It's hosted by Arielle Webb, and we're all going to be drinking cacao together in just a few moments. I wanted to tell everyone here a little bit about why we hold these events. This is our opportunity to show the broader Keys Cacao community a little bit about what it can be like to be one of our practitioners. And if you're wondering what is a Keys Cacao practitioner, Keys Cacao practitioners are people who have trained with Keys Cacao to learn all there is to know about ceremonial cacao by taking our class, The Power of Cacao, and learning both about their connection to this amazing plant medicine, but also the multitude of ways in which they can share the medicine with people in their community. The program was created not only to do that training and to help us spread the power and the beauty of ceremonial grade cacao to the world, but also to support people who wanted to engage in this endeavor. The primary benefit of being a Keys Cacao practitioner is significant discounts on buying cacao. We want you, the spirit of cacao wants you to participate in the prosperity that this amazing, amazing product creates. If at any point you become interested in wanting to be a practitioner, please reach out to info@keyscacao.com. Our wonderful support team, who are all practitioners, by the way, would love to share more with you. The most fun reason that we host these events is to get to share with you one of our amazing practitioners. Today, we get to sit with and learn from Arielle Webb. Arielle is a counselor. She is an intuitive medicine weaver. The favorite title that she shares, my favorite title of what she shares, is Ego Death Doula. She's also a mother of two beautiful daughters, and she is an enormously bright light in our cacao practitioner community. Arielle, would you be so kind as to tell us maybe a little more about yourself or your practice?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's been a long journey of going to school and getting my master's degree in counseling and working with people with trauma and PTSD, and then my own journey through so much and finding cacao and beginning to really reconnect to those parts of me that were lost before I experienced trauma. And so I feel it's such a gift. In my one-on-one work that I do with people, I do virtual sessions, and I also do in-person sessions doing plant medicine work and retreats, and just being able to see the power of cacao and the power of each human in connecting to their soul when given a safe space to do so. So it is truly an honor to be here and to meet more of this amazing cacao community. Yeah, pretty much sums it up.
Thank you very, very much, Arielle. This is a real pleasure. I've had the opportunity to know Arielle 2 or 3 years now. She's been a participant with us at our Bhakti Fest event. She joined us for homecoming in Guatemala last year and has been a practitioner for a long period of time. We're all really looking forward to today's ceremony. One bit of housekeeping before I ask you to get us started. If you have a problem, if there's any issue you're having, you can send me a chat directly through Zoom. Additionally, if you are someone who wants to be added as a panelist, which we would love, please raise your hand in Zoom and I'll take care of that during the ceremony. Ariel, are you ready?
Oh, yes. I'm ready to have some fun. Hello, everyone. Oh, my goodness. It's a little hard to focus when I see all these amazing faces. So thank you so much for being here with me. Thank you for bringing your energy and your experience. These spaces, to me, are just a space that you create. And so with that in mind, I would like for our first thing to do is I want everyone to ground down into your body. So I want you to wiggle your toes and I want you to feel yourself within the confines of this little meat suit you're in. We're going to get silly today. We're going to do things that are a little different. I'll be honest, I haven't even done some of these things before, so it'll be interesting. And so it's very important that you really feel this sensation of being in your own space and your own energy. And that you connect to your guides, your soul, your ancestors, any beings that you feel supported by. And I'm going to invite you to connect to those energies or that energy now. And just beginning to take some deep breaths into the lower belly through the nose. And if you have some tension or you have a lot of energy this morning, I invite you to exhale through the mouth. If you're already in that Buddha state, go ahead and just stay breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Ah, yeah. And if it feels good to you, you might put your hand over your heart and over your belly. And just tune into your own experience as I tell you a little bit about what we are going to do today. But first, I want to ask you, why are you here? Why are you here right now in this moment? What is it that you desire or are trying to get rid of? And just notice the sense of being you in your seat or on the floor right now that is separate from any of those desires. Just notice what it's like to feel the air moving through your nostrils. Notice the sounds around you. What do you hear? What can you smell? And so today we're going to do something that humans have been doing for a very long time. We're going to listen to a story. And there's something about story, about myth, especially when it is presented with rhythm, that calls into places within consciousness, the consciousness that you might identify as you, and that consciousness that includes the energy of all things. And we use story to connect to the spaces or the energies that we would like to get closer to. or perhaps embody. And of course, before we do that, we're going to drink our cacao. So if you have your cacao, I invite you to hold it in whatever way feels most comfortable to you right now. I like to put mine over my heart. Seems like the right place to me. And let's just, again, connect to our guides, connect to the spirit of cacao. Let's bring gratitude, as always, for this incredible plant spirit, this incredible plant. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Mama Cacao, for supporting us. Not just in our hearts, but in our minds and in our bodies and in our spirits. Thank you, thank you, thank you to the people who have cultivated this plant for so long, getting to know its mysteries, knowing how to share it, listening, tuning in, connecting to Mother Earth. And so we too, in this moment, call on the spirit of Pachamama, Gaia, Mother Earth. We give gratitude. We honor you for all that you give us. I also want to call in the spirit of the goddess Demeter, who will be taking us on our journey today. That of Persephone. The mother, the spirit of the goddess, all that is. This is this beautiful cycle of birth, life, death, and rebirth that we see all around us. So I ask you to get that why. Why are you here? And from that why, tune into an intention. It might be that why, it might be something a little different. It might be something that just popped into your heart and mind and it just feels right. If you don't know, if you don't have an answer, you can just ask Cacao to guide you to whatever it is you need today. And let's go ahead and take our first drink together. And we're just going to go ahead and continue sipping this cacao as we move into a little experience of sitting around the fire and listening to a story. And I want to invite you, as you soak into this experience with your cacao, to notice if any of the words, the feelings in this story evoke something within you. Notice the sensations in your body. Notice if memories or emotions arise as you're listening to the story. The story is going to be about 20 minutes long. I've created a little video for you, and there's actually fire. So please feel free to watch your screen, get into a dark space. And as the video fades out, it will slowly come back to me. And in that moment, I invite you to just close your eyes, and we're going to go on a visualization meditation. So do we have, I think we're just going to dive right in. So I'm going to go ahead and cue up the video. Enjoy, everyone. Sit beside the fire, friends. Drink up your cacao as you hear about the mysteries of living here and now. Throughout the threads of time, you may have heard this story told, for it exists among many myths of many lands of old. It is the story that brings you back to the thread to find your soul. But hear now how to find it as you hear of Demeter's woe. Some, they tell this tale and make it about pomegranate seeds. But in that little fruit is a symbol for the womb and all who bleed. These plants, they remind us of blood and soil and birth. So like the pomegranate and sacred wine, may your cacao elicit a rebirth, a retelling of your stories, a remembering of your soul. May you see that death and suffering are pure divinity, and by transmuting all that has been into equanimity, may you find the joy and bliss within every single thing. So sit now, relax, let the story do its work. For when we speak of the gods and goddesses, they begin to unearth in our hearts and minds, wielding their power to take us from plain living to being heroically inspired. Let your unseen eyes be opened along with your heart, and call upon your guides to help you as you travel to the dark, where your shadows will be waiting to be embraced by your heart like a mother longing for the daughter, the initiated in the dark. Drink your cacao, let it open you to the mysteries that await for you within your heart, if you will just let yourself see. Seasons come and seasons go, some filled with mirth and others woe. It has been a season, months and months since the maiden was abducted, months and months since the ground swelled up, Hades' longing fingers grasping, months since he pulled Persephone down, months since the great disaster. It has been a lifetime to dear Demeter, who has known no joy or laughter since she lost a part of herself to the hands of that terrible bastard. Oh, the nerve of some to say Persephone had it coming, or that she wanted to be taken. What right have they to question an obvious crime and victimization? Whether or not she knew his face meant nothing to Demeter. She is the goddess of cycles and order, and Persephone, her daughter. And though spiritual initiations come as quite a shock, potency, like birth and death, isn't kind enough to knock. This mattered not to Demeter, goddess of grain and hearth. The loss of her virgin maiden had darkened her once warm heart. She has become barren, the harbinger of grief and death, and where she once flowed, there is now famine. She has rejected all she once loved to tend. Demeter's harvest gone, people cannot flourish, worlds and empires crumble, people eat but are never nourished. Will nothing console the great goddess? Will she abandon the whole earth and lay on it the burden of the crimes of the underworld? Demeter thinks only of the loss. Will her daughter ever return? She sits and cries here at the well, at the waters of Eleusis. Where is that virginal maiden, one complete within herself, not having been divided into heaven and a hell? Where is that innocent one, the springtime rain and dew? Why does Demeter feel like she has been torn into two? She longs to look into those eyes in whom none could do wrong. But those eyes were stolen from her. when her daughter was brought to harm. Remembering again her daughter's stolen innocence, Demeter's eyes filled with rage. She wanted nothing but vengeance. How dare that evil bastard take the one so dear to Demeter's heart? Why couldn't it be another who could have warmed his deathly hearth? As her mind was filled with Hades, she was blind to all around her, so she couldn't hear the footsteps creeping round the large stone corner. That was good, most likely, for the sight may have scared her. This was no ordinary body, but that of goddess Iamvi. She is that goddess never found sculpted in museums, for even now she is often buried, the misfit to keep hidden. She's found in old tales only, passed down by voice round fire. She is made of clay. She is earth herself, and visit only when inspired. She is Crone, but also older, in time, but sees beyond it. Her eyes, which are also her breasts, feed as much as they take in. Her lips, which are also vulva, disclose a very hairy grin. Her arms for ears, her torso also a head. It's hard to tell if she's living or was something left for dead. Everything is a jumble on Iamvi's hideous frame. She is everything that's wild and cannot ever be tamed. She is where time stops, the start and end of the breath, where one can no longer breathe because laughter has become so intense and the whole of the self is caught in one's chest. This creature peeked her nippled eyes around that stony corner and saw Demeter there, despondent in dress and composure. Seeing that goddess so haggard and inept, Iamvi took flight to where the ancient wine was kept. The wine was from the plants, a strong medicinal tincture that would remind Demeter of her true divine nature. As she ran away to the elixir of truth, Demeter sat at the well and cursed the name of Zeus. What truth could there be when even gods could break their oaths? Were all agreements null? Had the moral compass lost its pole? There seemed no wrong or right, no sense of up or down. Chaos and chaos alone was all that could be found. What need could there be in a world of chaos for a goddess of the plenty? Let starvation rage on, the universe was empty. Zeus had promised to keep her safe beloved Persephone. But when his brother asked for her, Zeus gave her to Hades, and now she asks him for help, returning his beautiful daughter, and Zeus was still and silent, condemning her to slaughter. The creative life force had been lost to rape, and all was death and sorrow. Hades had surely won. Her eyes felt dark and downcast, and there her eyes saw red blood wine within a drinking glass. Not again, she thought. More putrid sacrifices. I'll take nothing to drink, she said. Nothing will repay these vices. But a round brown hand moved the glass even closer, and Demeter's anger rose and began to smolder. I said no, Demeter yelled at this audacious stranger, but her mouth was locked agape at the sight of the figure before her. There stood Iamvi in all her obscene being, but hiding her mouth beneath a skirt, waiting for the big revealing. Her eyes smiled at Demeter, and she gave a mirthful wink, but again Demeter looked away, refusing to take the drink. But Iamvi would not let her avert her gaze. No matter where Demeter's avoidant eyes would travel, there too would Iamvi slowly amble. She would shake her body in a contortedly sensual way. Finally, Demeter found herself staring. The sight was just so strange. These breasts or eyes, so bouncy and protruding, and wavy noodle-like arms flailing like a loony, and watching this shrivelly raisin-like form begin to sway and twerk. Without her knowing, Demeter's frown became a smirk. But still the hearth queen mulled, bitter over the words of Hecate, witch of the night and the abyss. Demeter snatched the wine, resigned, remembering the words of that phonic bitch. Pay no mind to Zeus or Hades, those gods who think they rule. Hecate will fetch your Persephone when the perfect time is due. What a saucy kook, thought Demeter. What an old haggard crone. What right had she to imagine challenging the thrones of Zeus and Hades, lords of lightning and the darkness? What could stand between sudden inspiration and the dead and the forgotten? Demeter imagined Hecate attempting to cross the river Styx, then drank more wine to forget the insanity of all of it. Suddenly, strange Iambe began to shake her hips, and sauntering to lovely Demeter, she slowly whispered this. You know what I love when I'm down? A man, or a few, within my bed. Isn't that a marvelous way to get out of one's head? Demeter's eyebrows arched. Another crony loon? How could this strange creature even get a man in her room? She shook her head at Iambe and tersely said, A man has stolen my daughter. A man has forsaken my bed. I have no interest in those creatures who bring nothing but pain and death. They're not so bad, Demeter. Take your mind out of this chasm. You could at least eat some bread and give yourself an orgasm. Wouldn't life be better then, remembering some ease? You could even give new birth if you'd accept a little seed. Have you no mind for empathy? You coarse creature, Iambe, or did you just trade it for indecency? To this, Iambe laughed, or more precisely, cackled, and seeing the water in the well, to that water she strangely ambled. Okay, Demeter, you win. Spend your life here at the well, but never drink its water. Just remember, we all are servants of the thoughts we each have chosen. Do you choose fear, anger, and hate? Or will those binds be broken? Do you choose to walk in the labyrinth of loss? Or will you follow your soul's thread to the now, the free, the love? Come, drink these waters and free your wild soul. Release yourself from the dark binds and accept the all, the whole. Here cannot be if there had not occurred, so let there fade to its right place and accept that it's absurd. And with that, Iambe laughed and mumbled to herself as she began to dance around the well, humming and touching herself. It was absurd, thought Demeter, her ego tamed by Iambe's words. She had been so convinced of her emotions, but now they were beginning to swerve. Was it the wine? Everything seemed to merge into the other. Joy, anger, hurt, and love dancing all together. She thought that nothing could be at the end of all her grief, but it seemed beneath her stories something lay underneath. Life. Life was there. The totality of being. Life and love. One and the same. With room for everything. Iambe danced like a lunatic, taken fully by her nature. Demeter couldn't help but smile and let the moment take her. All thought of loss and future woe were nowhere to be found. Only the water, wine, and mirth were on that sacred ground. The goddess began to glow, the grass below her greening, and then Iambe stopped and suddenly started screaming. Confusion, fear, what could happen next? It was the moment recorded in Homer's hymn, when Iambe showed Demeter her sex. The skirt was lifted, vaginal mouth agape. Iambe danced and kicked, spreading those long, wild legs. Demeter began to laugh, and fits turned into roars, and so Iambi and Demeter danced over every moment before. They danced outside of time and space. They moved in ecstasy. When all had become wild and free, in walked Hecate. She poured the blood-red wine into the bottomless well, threw up her arms, said a prayer, and to her knees she fell. Bones and claws and mushroom caps, witch-wise incantations, all thrown into the well. The dance of ecstasis came to a stop. "It is done," Hecate yelled. A stirring in the well. Was that a splash? Just a trick? What magic and mystery was this? The air stirred, the tree boughs shook, the earth rattled and waters hissed. From a fire within the well, a finger, 2, then 3, and moments later, the full figure of lovely Persephone. In Persephone's eyes were Demeter's strands of despair, but held with her love, hope, and joy were also there. One eye was black, the other blue, holding not one world but two. The dark abyss, black as night in that obsidian eye, the other clear as day, pure and bright, made clear this was a lady of the light. She is lady of summer and spring and fall and winter too. She is death and she is birth. In short, she's everything. The flower of Narcissus, though once seen as Persephone's doom, was the plant that took her down into Lord Hades' room. Lover of life, lover of death, and all worlds in between, Persephone had transformed from maiden into queen. She had arisen from the darkness by the laughter of the crones, the ones who navigate darkness, and in the darkness know. Mother and maiden are the everlasting dance, and all are caught within their rhythmic trance. Mother and maiden, darkness and light, the two are always one. So if you're ready to dance the dance, then please, my friend, come. The fates they weave, threads move under, over, separate yet one motif with each other. Find your thread, like Ariadne, to reclaim all of your soul. Hold it now and calm your breath, for into the well we go. You've drunk cacao, our sacred wine, to remember that you belong to life and death alike. In the cycles of time beyond this life, each story is perfect and true. So let yourself accept your soul and take on its heavenly view as we journey into the deep to call lost parts of you. Stories, words, thoughts, ways we perceive, form our experience of our existence. And so I want you to imagine you are there by the well, seeing yourself looking into this deep, deep hole. And to prepare yourself to go in, I want you to do this simple task of thinking of something or someone you love. And just notice that feeling of love. Notice where it is in your body. Notice if it has a color, a temperature, maybe even a texture. Feel that feeling of love. Allow it to expand throughout your body. With each inhale, allowing that feeling, that sensation to grow. And with each exhale, pushing it through the body. And I want you to notice a word that you might use to describe this feeling of love. Just allowing any word to come to mind. And that word, like a seed, take that and place it in your heart, knowing that in any part of our journey today, all you need to do is think that word to come back to this sensation. This is our thread back to the soul. Our safety, our map that brings us home. When we get lost in the darkness and the stories. And so as we begin to explore those now, know you have this thread, this seed in hand. And you can take it at any moment you need it. You are the one guiding your experience. Trust your intuition. I am here to give you ideas, visuals, inspiration that Spirit has given me, but you will be taken on exactly the journey that you need today. And so if you're taken anywhere else, allow it. So in this place of myth, in this place of the underworld, everything is a possibility, meaning we are all of these symbols. These archetypal energies, anger, love, eros, passion. We have access to all of them. And sometimes when we experience things, we choose one as our story. Over time, defining who we are with those definitions and energies. And if you've been feeling stuck, you've been feeling down, frustrated, lost, this is your opportunity to journey to the place where those stories were made and rewrite them. So looking down into this deep, deep well, I invite you to climb in. And notice as you travel down what that well might look like to you. You notice any discomfort as you imagine traveling down the well, holding onto that thread. And so down, down into the well we go. And just notice if any images, memories, stories begin to show themselves to you. I know that some of you are seeing memories of hurtful times. And if nothing's coming, that's okay too. I want you to notice if there is a story or a memory that is the most powerful for you in this moment. We're going to pick one to work with. We're going to allow one to reveal itself to us. This block, this imagined block. You might be noticing this through the emotions that come up around this experience. Just allowing the emotions to be, if that's you, I want you to connect to the sensation in the body as you feel that emotion. Where is that emotion felt? Just stay there. For others of you, you may have a flashback. And similarly, I want you to notice the sensations in the body as you see the images of that memory. So we're all coming at this from different spaces, but we are all staying with the body. You may notice thoughts about the experience starting to arise, perhaps even thoughts about what you need to do to fix it. We're going to back off from those thoughts and stay in the body. Now, finding that sensation, again, is there a shape? Notice where in the body it stretches to. Is it small or large? Noticing if it has a color. And we're going to assume that this sensation is actually here to help us, like a guide. Like guides are very difficult sensations and show us what's truly happening beneath the surface in that well. So I want you to take a moment, if it feels good to you, to ask this sensation what it needs, as though it's a separate entity. And notice who is here in this moment to take care of this sensation. It might be you. If it feels overwhelming, it might be your guides. You can always ask for help. But rather than trying to clear or get rid of this emotion, we are going to hold space for it and just be with it, this sensation. As long as it needs. Finding stillness. And just noticing what happens as we merely sit with it. You feel yourself wanting to move away from this sensation. I invite you to go back to describing it. Just notice it. Notice if it's moving. Notice what happens as you give this sensation your presence. Notice what happens in the body as you allow this sensation to be. Knowing there's nothing to change. Now, for those of you who feel good in this space and just want to be present for yourself, allowing emotions, energy, sensations that you've been picking up lately to just be felt. For others of you, you may have felt like you have lost a bit of yourself somewhere along this journey we call life. And for those of you who want to go to that deeper place and feel good, safe to go to that deeper place today, I'm going to invite you to continue following me. For the rest of you, just continue to be in your meditative space. So for those of you who've experienced difficult situations like this one in the story, where you feel you were harmed, hurt, life really just got hard and something was lost. I'm going to invite you to go to that place that memory and be there now. Notice the stories in your mind as you go there now. Some of you may be experiencing flooding of the thoughts and emotions that happened for you in that moment. Feel free to hold on to that thread, that sensation of love in your body if things get too intense. But in that memory, notice what is happening. Notice who's there. Oftentimes, we first go to the sense of emotion or thought that occurred at that moment. That's our gateway. Now enter that space and look to see who is there. Look around. Now notice if you can see the space itself. Get your surroundings in that space. Can you see the room or the place? The temperature? Notice the person that is you in that space. Notice what he or she is afraid of. Notice what is happening in the space. And if fear needs to be validated, then do it. Let that you know it's okay that you were afraid. Or angry, or whatever the case may be. I want you to be there now, noticing what was happening for you then. And I want you to see is that thread still there? In that moment where you were, can you go back into that experience and find something in that moment that you loved? And just notice that sensation of love that existed in you even then. And let that sensation again expand through your body. Notice that what you are doing now is no different than you doing it then. Feeling that sensation of love in that memory. Notice what happens in your body. If it feels good to you right now, I'm going to invite you to feel that sensation of love, that thread to your heart, to your soul, in that memory, in that body. And just like we did before, with every inhale, filling with more of that love. And with every exhale, moving it through the space and time within that memory. You are all very, very powerful beings. Moving that love from your body to everything within that space. And notice how it transforms. Notice how the you within the memory has transformed. And if it feels good to you, why not invite that you in the memory to come back with you now, if it would like to. It's probably felt a little stuck there for a while. And just allow. If it does not want to, that's fine. If it does, that's fine too. And since you know your way down that tunnel of that well, you're going to let this you know the way back. And I want you to notice anything in that space. You might ask your guides for help with this. Any parts of you and anything else. Just notice if there are any images, thoughts, sensations that might also want to come back to this present moment with you. Be open to your soul wanting to retrieve something your mind didn't know it lost. And I'm going to give you about 2 minutes to take those things by the hand and you're just going to begin to float up out of this dark tunnel. Back to the present moment. There's no need to rush. Notice what you see and feel as you set the intention to come back into your body. And we're going to begin to fill up the body with everything we retrieved, and to feel it in the space of where you are right now. And so coming in, notice the entry point in your body that your soul wants to take. And allow it to be filled with your awareness. And when you feel that area is complete, you can move on, moving throughout the body, bringing your full awareness to what it is like to be in this suit of skin and muscle and bone and blood. Right now. Notice what it's like to be in your finger or your toes. Notice the magic that is your breath happening without you even thinking about it. Notice what it feels like for the air to fill your lungs and belly. Notice if it has a taste or a smell. Notice what it's like to maybe even flex or squeeze your arms and legs. And feel this ability to contract and release. Notice that with just a thought, you can flex and move this body. Notice what it feels like to be in yourself. Notice if there's a separation between you and the air around you. And notice the sensation in your heart. This is where we come back to this heart, this heartbeat, this place where cacao brings us, brings our attention and helps us to expand. The heartbeat, how much one can sense their own heartbeat, is how researchers identify people with awareness of the body. This heart is the first thing to come online. This first you. The thread. As you feel comfortable, ready, back inside of this body, I invite you to just begin to slowly open your eyes and wiggle your fingers and toes. And we're going to have an opportunity to do some one-on-one guidance, more of what I normally do. There's no rush. The beautiful thing about sharing or working through things like this in group settings is that everyone's experience connects to that collective consciousness that we connect to through story. When we share our stories, it's a powerful medicine for all those around us, because we all share this magical thing called the human experience. But I want to remind you, if you are here and present today, that everyone's story is their own. And so please, if someone shares, don't share it outside of this space. So I'm going to open this up to anyone who has a share or comments or a question. And this is where the real magic happens. And just like Ruta, you can raise a hand and we'll go in order of the hands that were raised. Thank you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you for guiding that beautiful experience. Thank you for showing me where to go.
Are you ready for me?
Yes.
Hello, I'm still kind of catching the breath because it was very potent and powerful and unexpected, but synchronized with the story. I'm not so familiar with all the gods, goddesses, but they are coming to me. So Hecate this year I discovered, and I had a cat, Zeus, that I just said goodbye to. That literally was the most magical thing that happened to me. And now I realize it must be all the gods working through me as he guided me through my spiritual awakening all these 4 years. And so really, really thank you for that. And the well took me unexpectedly very to this situations that repeated multiple times. I'm from Lithuania, and my mom grew up in kind of like a more of a countryside where it's just one kind of like a mini farm. And I used to spend summers there. And the memory that came is when I would go to sleep, or they would put me to sleep to go to bed. There was this room, um, and it's, kind of wilderness, and it was like years ago, so very not so much of a comfort, but it was normal. And I would hear like mouses or like mosquitoes. And I just remember that I was every night so scared to sleep, and somehow there was nobody to comfort me or nurture. And yeah, I just remember that I guess it definitely added, because I am healing mother-father wounds and just not feeling loved, realizing that they didn't show it to me physically, verbally, buying things, none of the ways. So I've been healing that since last year. And I guess this, yeah, and just not knowing to communicate that and ask for it as well. Uh, and how many nights I just fell asleep being afraid. And then, of course, it was nights at home when I got my own kind of little room, or even like now remembering, even for travels up to this day, um, if I'm alone, I get scared. Or last week, I stayed at my friend's home, um, and I was scared to sleep there too, in the room. And I was just like so also blown away by that, because I am planning to kind of travel and nomad a little bit, and I'm like, how am I gonna travel if I'm afraid to sleep at my friend's house?
Mm.
And now I guess it kind of made sense. And also this week I heard, I don't know if anybody knows Deanna Cooper and her book, The Golden Future. I've been listening to the audio, and I heard the meditation kind of this week, where that we all have divine mother and father as just like the most pure love and light that is kind of part of us, but we can imagine it's just the most perfect parents that we have in any shape or form. And we just can call in their love, their light to nurture us, and we can ask, and we can kind of build a relationship. So I did ask them to come in and just hug and just know. And then once that I'm not alone, that I'm safe, that I'm loved. And then also just when you also give that opportunity to, I think, invite a different emotion and memory. I remember that, of course, I was so loved by my grandparents, by my parents, by my aunts, and I loved the little chickens and kittens and dogs outside and cows and flowers and just being in that nature. And so that gave also a lot of nurture. And then right before I left, I thought I'll just take my little me up. And then another memory popped up that when I was sleeping, my grandparents' bedroom it was just kind of like a closet that kind of made the room, and then a little walkway, and then it was my grandparents' bedroom. And my grandfather used to have nightmares a lot because, he's been through the war and all that. And I used to be very scared of that too, because he used to scream, and then he would also have these like drinking tantrums for days, and that also just gave me I just sent him compassion, and I felt that was some ancestral healing, because I understood what happened, because then I didn't. And just now it kind of clicked. I was like, it's over, it's over, it's over. I could send him love, and I could send my little me love, and it's kind of like, now I know why, and that I don't have to be scared anymore of his screams. And yeah, so wow, so healing, and so powerful. And so I almost didn't come, but the name just really called me, because I do want to just fully love and accept myself. And so yeah, thank you so much. Beyond grateful, beyond words was my golden thread, because I thought about Zeus and our love and our journey, and there's no words can describe how magical it was and deep. So yes, wow, Arielle, thank you so much.
Thank you for sharing, being so vulnerable, and sharing that powerful experience, and showing us what bringing that presence and expanding our awareness can do. So powerful, so powerful. Keep going. Keep going.
And it feels so good, because I've been on this healing journey by myself, And especially this year, it was so intense. So like these circles are kind of like pretty much my only outlet, because in my real life I don't have you can share bits and pieces, but not everybody will understand. So just being in the feeling and sharing it right away, it's also, I feel like, gives a lot of ease and relief. Thank you again.
You're welcome. Yeah. Yeah, with these really powerful cathartic experiences, going into the memory and expanding awareness to see what was happening, the birds. But yeah, you might have been scared then. Of course, of course. And can we now be there now with who we are now and see what was really happening? And so after that experience, it's important to ground. So please, all of you, be aware. Standing on the earth today, going on a walk, doing something to move this energy through can be really helpful. Yeah. Cheers. Anyone else who'd like to share or ask a question or get coaching on something that they feel they have not been able to get past?
Arielle, I don't know if you can tell, but Ishem has his hand raised.
It's been raised the whole time, but so do you have a question, Hishem? Well, feel free to.
Okay.
There we go. Yes,
Yeah, thank you first.
thank you.
No question. I was really surprised actually where it took me. And I've been diving for years in those pits and fires and things. And the story actually, I couldn't really stay focused during the story. It was just taking me in many places. And what was always coming back was the self-judgment. Yeah, there's a part about the masturbation. It just took me with my ex, with some story, tons of sex, lacks of sex, craving it, judging it, and lots of those judgments. Just I can't really explain more because it was very, very taking me in so many different places, which was very interesting to just witness and allow more fun, more life, more peace about being alive and experimenting life actually without judging. And then when I was in the pit, there was the two places that I went were not things that I identify as trauma, but they actually felt like it at that time. Right now, when I was looking back at it, like one, I was painting a door. I've been raised by my grandparents, and great-grandparents, and I was just painting a door with the feeling to do the best I could. And then my grandfather came pissed and probably a bit drunk, I think now, but and he gave me shit and told me that wasn't good enough. Like the paint, the wood was fucked and old. The paint sucked in, so it looked like I didn't do much, and gave me shit. And I went to live on a branch of a tree for 24 hours. I kind of left and went in a tree and spent some time there. And the feeling that came was, yeah, feeling very alone, doing my best and wanting to be loved, and then feel totally. So I was in that tree, which I already felt a few times, but yeah, it was good to just come back there and be present with it and let it change. And the second thing is the first time I go is when I was 5 years old. I was a superhero at my school and I was biking back home super fast. And I went too fast and I got into a huge pile of cut wood and everything started to fall on me and I stopped it like that. And I just couldn't move. Like if I move, I will have been like, so I stayed there, and then a friend showed up and saved me.
Mm.
And that also was stuck somewhere, like that feeling of being a superhero. I was super good at soccer, at everything, and like to have to be saved. I don't know. I was super surprised to get there. I was like, really, is that a trauma? Like, but apparently it was. So it's yeah. Thank you. It was very interesting to see that and to feel the yeah, those broken things of like, okay, I'm invincible. Okay, no. And to yeah, was thank you. It was good to witness it, to let it transform, and on the way back up, there was tons of things that were there on that pit. But as soon as I was coming up, everything was just lightening up. Just like, yeah, we are just those things, like some part of you that were just traumatized or something on the way, and
Yeah.
we can change. So thank you. Hope it wasn't too long of a sharing.
No. Thank you. Thank you. I had a bit of an intuitive message drop in when you were sharing your superhero story. Are you open to hearing it?
Yeah, for sure. Please.
Yeah. Just to, with expanded awareness, go into that moment and ask yourself, who was doing the saving? And if in the same situation, you would have helped a friend hold the wood, who's the superhero?
Yeah.
Where does it end? It doesn't.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I've been a superhero many times, saving people.
Yes.
I
Yes.
was surprised to be like, wow, is that, yeah, why is that a trauma? And then I felt like, wow, I felt like not enough in some way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I love what you just said. You just said the magic. I've been a superhero many times.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank
You are. You are.
I
Thank
am.
you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. Is it Lene? Is that how you pronounce it?
Yes, Lene Christine. So it was very interesting because it was like when I went down the tunnel, it was like layers and layers and layers and layers, and it was like it didn't end, you know, it was so many layers down, 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 down. And it wasn't scary, it was just interesting to just, wow, so many layers, you know. I didn't know. So and then I came to a place from a previous life, and that was very interesting because I have got this card ISIS many times about places where I'm stuck from the past, and I was whipped because I was myself and I was sharing my truth. And it just all made a lot of sense because I have been struggled with self-worth and like I'm not enough, you know, and it's been like scary to, you know, be myself, express myself freely. And the emotion, it was like this thing back here, like I don't know, a bit of a shadow in a way, and it's here to protect myself and protect me so I don't get hurt again, you know. So, but when I gave it light and my awareness, it was like it just, you know, it you know, disappeared, dissolved into the light, and I just felt like I don't have to be scared anymore. It's okay. I'm safe now. But there were all different stories too, because I have had different experience with my mother. She's been sick, and tried to kill herself many times, and you have mental issues and drinking problems, and I came to that, you know, feeling of instability too, and I came to other place where I've been abused, and just another place where I just felt so alone, you know, and it was very interesting when I sent love to those places, especially the time when I was abused, because I felt there was a love and a connection there. I thought there was, you know, but then when I did send love, it was like the energy of the love was sent from my heart and down. So now the energy is going in the right direction. It was like the air inside of me was going in the opposite way, you know. But now I could send the love out again, and that was very healing. And I felt I was coming back in my power, and I felt like, you know, when I asked these fragments to come back to me now, it was like puzzles, you know. So I just felt like I became whole again. So it was very, very deep experience. So yeah, I was very like far away, you know. I just heard your words, and it just like things just popped up, and yeah. So thank you very much. I didn't expect it to be so so deep. So thank you.
Thank you for sharing your powerful, powerfully transformative you. I can feel the deep, deep layers, and what you just expressed is such a wonderful, as a teacher that you are, that, and you put it so beautifully, that sensation before that often we try to push away, yes, and push, 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 thinking that we're keeping ourselves safe. This is normal, this is natural, this is what we're designed to do. There is nothing wrong with it. But like fight, flight, anything that is pushing or running, yes, it is the same energy in different directions. And so this different sensation you experienced, the way you described it, of love filling, that sense of love is our sense of safety, right? Equanimity. When we feel love, we feel, and that filled, and it's not a pushing, and it's not an allowing either to be taken over. There's no flight or fawn, right? It's this sense of,
Is that what I feel?
this is who I am. So thank you
Yeah,
for articulating that so, so beautifully.
thank you very much. And the word I had in my heart was expand. And I really felt what you were trying to tell me now, because it's like I felt like I was in my power. I was in control, you know. So yeah, in this love and in this, yeah, in me. So thank you.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know we are nearing the end of the time we set out for today. So before everyone leaves, I just want to let you know, Rick has these links. I've put a discount to some one-on-one sessions just for those who attended today and those who watched the recording. So I don't know if you can put that in the chat, Rick, because I know some people need to leave. And also, I did put together a little freebie here. I didn't tell anyone. Whoops, broke the rules. And I created a little playlist for you all to listen to today or tomorrow or whenever you feel like it, to dance and move this energy out and dance like Yambi and get wild and crazy. So I'm going to put that in the chat as well, and you can go pick that up. I don't know if those people who panelists can see it, but there it is. Okay, so just a couple of little, I can't think of the word right now. It doesn't matter. Let's go on to the next people who would like to share or ask questions. If some of you need to leave, I understand. Enjoy your beautiful day or evening today. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for being here and lighting up my day. And those of you who want to stay, I'm not going anywhere. So let's see. Oh, got a page not found. Thank you. All right. That is the link. If you all want to copy and paste it after the call today, when I can take care of it and I'm not here with you, I will go ahead and fix that, but it will be the same URL. So you can
The
just
link
go ahead
is
and copy
working
it.
for me, just so you know.
Perfect. Thank you. All right. Michael is next, I believe.
Yes. Yeah, hello.
Hi.
Yeah, thank you for the guided meditation, for the video. I just wanted to share I have this deep connection to Greek mythology, so that's why I felt called to also today to participate and to take part. And interestingly, with the video, all kinds of things came up, and I found the story very fascinating, and it's also very expressive and typical the Greek mythology. Like they talk about everything; they don't leave anything to imagination. It's like super visual, and so that was very cool. And then with the meditation, I kind of fell asleep right in the beginning, just when it was what you said in the beginning, but I just woke up in the middle of it, and I felt this moving sensation in the body that I usually feel when the guides are doing something, moving around, some energy in the body, like this wavy, I don't know how to describe it. And yeah, for me, I think my mind almost expected like to go to a specific place, because I heard from two psychics very specifically that I lost in a past life, and it was probably ancient Greece, my power, where I got stabbed in the throat. So I heard that very, directly channeled from two people, and in this life I have this real tension, extreme tension in the throat and neck, and like this root chakra problem with not feeling safe in the world and massive social anxiety ever since I can think back. And and also these gut issues, very interestingly, also very timely for me when I heard or when I read in your message that you have this specialty with gut healing. And yeah, so I'll definitely think I'll check out your one-on-one sessions, because I think I need some more guidance. And whatever it is with the throat, I don't really know how to explain, but I think it has to do also with losing the power in another lifetime and not being able to fully take it back. And there's some energy that has latched onto and gives me these extreme intrusive thoughts and tries to really manipulate me, basically. And pull my energy, and it's very difficult. So it's like I feel very physically exhausted, especially the past years. And yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing, Michael. I'd be happy to talk to you. And yeah, for today, I want you to practice humming in the back of the throat. Ding, ding, ding. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
And just practice that, okay?
Thank you.
Observe it the same way we did today. Instead of just thinking I'm doing this to fix a problem, bring your awareness to the humming sensation in the throat, just like we did today, of just noticing the physical sensations within the muscles. And your awareness to them. Notice how beautiful the muscles, that feeling of the air moving through the vibrations, how the vibration extends to the back of the skull into this nerve here that helps continue. It actually extends down into the root chakra, the vagus nerve. And so feeling that humming sensation, and instead of having these thoughts about the humming and why it started and why it needs to get fixed, just be with the humming. And again, just notice the sensation and just notice what happens in your body. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay. Yes. Anyone else? Daniel and Jen. Thank you all so much for sharing and talking. I love this dialogue.
Well, okay. I I appreciate you putting this on to start with. I got the email from Keys Cacao, and I was like, this sounds like kind of something that I'm looking to do, because I've recognized and that there are parts of me that have been split off that I need to reintegrate. So I was really excited to see this come up, because I was like, this is right in line with some of the things that I'm looking at working on. And at the start of this experience, and I was listening to the story, I was like, what is the story? Like, what the hell? Like, what am I doing here? And I was like, wait a minute, this is bringing up things in me that I need to reintegrate. I'm like, this is great. This is exactly what I'm here for. This weird story about like eyes and breasts and whatever. I'm like, this is what I'm here for. So it was really kind of comical, because at first I was like judging it, and I was like, man, like, okay, mouth and vaginas, and like, this is reminding me of this weird show that I watched last night. So I was like, but then I turned it around and I was like, oh, this is it. Okay, great. And what came in for me was past sexual trauma, which relates into the story, because it's like, some of those different imagery things come up. And I was recognizing how, for myself, there's past sexual trauma that I see as situations where I betrayed myself. And it was really fantastic, because I've been working with, or trying to work through, this idea of betrayal in my life, where I have been feeling like I had been betrayed. And I was able to make the connection. Oh, these current ideas of betrayal are tied back to these previous experiences that I had, where I felt like I had betrayed myself in the sexual trauma type thing. So I did a little journaling afterwards, which I'm just going to read to you, and I hope you guys find this beneficial. If not, it benefits me to say it. So it's a win-win. So betrayal of myself is not possible. I chose experiences to have. As I judge my choices, I can believe I betrayed myself by the choices I made. But the idea of betrayal of a past experience is a choice for judgment right now, and a betrayal of the now moment. The effects of a past betrayal do not exist unless I believe I was betrayed. This belief happens now, and the effects I feel happen now. The past experience has no hold over me. The judgment of that experience causes the negative experiences now. It is not the past experience that hurts me. The trauma is past, gone. What seems to hurt me is the idea that I was hurt, the idea that I was betrayed. I am forever supported. In my judgment of the past, I feel bad, not from a past hurt, but from my guidance system supporting me and letting me know I'm off track. As I change my mind, I feel better. I am healed. I am supported. I am loved. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, you are. Nailed it. Nailed it. Every thought about the past or future, even every thought about the present moment, creates a separation from what is happening right here and right now. So beautifully said. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That was such a gift to me, Emmanuel. I appreciate it. Keep going. Anyone else? Can I change my view? There we go. Now I can see all these faces. I'm gonna allow for just a minute of silence to see if any of you who know you want to share but are getting in your own way for some reason, just want to raise that hand. This is such a loving space filled with incredibly open minds and hearts and powerful people. This is a wonderful place to be. Wow. Just wow. Thank you.
I forgot to add one thing. If nobody else, I don't want to cut anybody off, so just want to give time. But if not, I forgot to add something physical.
Go ahead.
If everyone is okay with that? So while I was feeling what I was feeling, and I came with this kind of tightness, and it's been lingering with me, like my lower back, I guess, kind of kidney, and then upper back. So I know it's my father's side, but it just seems to come up all the time, or a lot, or just kind of linger with me. But when I was feeling it, also kind of went down through like my butt and my foot, and I thought it's leaving, this kind of tightness. But now that I'm sitting, it's still there. So I feel it all the way, kind of like starting my mid back, and it goes down around the spine and my glutes, and even like my whole leg all the way down. So just wanted to see if I'm not all the way released, or if there's just like a piled up memories, emotions.
Yeah, great question. This is something that a lot of people wonder about. And, when we talk about illness and physical manifestations, we can even look at allopathic or modern medicine and the deep connection between stress and illness, or stress and body issues. Yes. And so we can take a look at what happens when we begin to feel a sensation of contraction. Okay. This is where a lot of people get stuck in loops. I would say not just a lot, all of us. I don't know, but I've done it. I had chronic illness, autoimmune disease, and really bad digestive issues for more than a decade after experiencing some trauma. And what happens is this feedback loop of, oh no, I'm contracting. I'm not supposed to be doing this. This is bad. I need to fix it. And what happens when we have a thought that something is not okay is what? Sensation? Contraction. Yes? And so we take a a contraction that could come and go in a small period of time, and it becomes this loop because of our thoughts about the sensation. Yes. And I'm not saying this is always the case, but this is a good place to start. Because a lot of times we go to get help on how can I fix this thing, and we try this new diet or this new pain medication or whatever, and it's just starting with this continued cycle of this shouldn't be happening. Okay. And so our minds are creating more stress and more contraction on a very normal body response. You know, what happens when when our bodies want to change something? What does it do? If let's say we want to go in and move something or make something happen, contraction. And when we're contracting like that, what's our story about it? I'm so strong and powerful. Yeah. And that contraction releases and it does its thing. Yes. And so when we're working with contractions that we maybe think we're not supposed to be having, I would invite you to bring that same kind of story in your mind about trusting that my body is doing exactly what it is supposed to be doing right now. Yeah. My body is doing exactly what it is supposed to be doing right now, and I'm going to let it do its thing. And just take care of it while it does. Yes. Now, this isn't to say you shouldn't go see your doctors and go under the care of the doctor. I'm not saying that. Please don't hear that. But if it's something like a physical sensation that we can start with in our homes, I am powerful and my body is doing exactly what it is supposed to be doing. I mean, wow. Wow. It's very normal when we have these kind of cathartic experiences for the nervous system to discharge energy that has been stored in the body for a long time. So you may notice contraction. You may notice this shaking or pulsing or just feeling jittery. This is okay. This is normal. A lot of times after these experiences, the mind starts to do this wonderful thing where it will project the emotion, the core emotion that's coming up to finally be felt. It will project that onto the experiences you're having outside of you right now. So the next person you talk to or the next experience you have, notice how you are processing or translating that experience. This is a key to the emotions that are coming up to be felt from those past experiences we have unearthed. Okay. Everything you're seeing outside of you is a wonderful mirror to what's happening within yourself. Thanks.
Wow.
He would have said that.
This has reminded me, actually, I'm pretty new to this community, but I watched some Keith's online ceremonies, and one of them, he mentioned something that really stuck with me is when you have contraction, don't try to stretch it, because the old me would like try to yoga the shit out of myself to get that knot out. And now, since I heard that, I was, being more aware and just more compassionate, I guess, and being, okay, this is emotional more, and I don't need to rush and I don't need to force the stretch. And I'm guessing the same, like Michael said, I have bloating, but I'm just taking it as an essential symptom, as kind of like it shall pass. Don't stress too much about it. And thank you so much again.
You're so welcome. Thank you. Trust the process. Absolutely. You knew what you were doing when you came down here. Anyone else? Go ahead, Nina.
Yes, I didn't hear you. I'm sorry. I just want to add on what Ruta was telling, because I have been working with my body as well. And it's so interesting when you ask, you come to that place and you feel, you know, the feelings in that area and that, yeah, emotions, whatever. And you ask the body, what are you trying to tell me? And things can come, and is there more you want to tell me? And just what do you need from me? And I did actually that exercise just a few days ago, because I have had this thing on the right side, and it's just my body telling me that I need to reach out to my soul tribe more. I need to reach out to the people I really, you know, love and care about, that who expands me. That was because what I learned in another program is that it's important to get like not how to say it, not just like vague stuff, but like practical stuff. What do you need, body? Tell me now, you know, instead of just like when it's just a kind of vague, you be in the light, and then it's hard to kind of manifest into this world, you know. So the first one was to, you know, reconnect with my tribe, and the second was to work more on my nervous system. You know, do exercises for my nervous system and more journaling and stuff. So it was very interesting to get these like very precise, you know, guides from my body, because I have been like this person, and I have just, you know, got this vague, you know, you have to stay in your love, stay in your, you know, in your power. But how do I do that, you know? So I just wanted to share that with you, Ruta, and everyone. Is like, if you can, you know, when you talk to your body, get these like practical stuff and put it in your calendar. What is it I need to do, you know, to release yeah, this stuck emotion or whatever it is that's contracting in our system. So yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing your journey. Yes, listen to your intuition. Find what works for you. And I don't know about you all, but I found the secret sauce in those contractions. Just noticing, what is it that has me feeling off? And why do I care so much about this damn thing? Can I let it go? Can I back off? Can I let it go? Can I just be really okay with this human experience I am on? Because, I mean, it's filled with all kinds of things, yeah? Human experience filled with illness, sadness, pain, death. Is that okay? Can we be okay? It's a beautiful journey. So share your journey. Live your journey. You all are so divine. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Did I miss anything in the chat? Are we all good, Rick? Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for being a part of our community, Arielle. Thank you so much for this wonderful gift the past 2 hours have been. I know there's a great deal of interest in connecting with you amongst this group. They're very interested in your playlist. And apparently you can get to the playlist and then you can be added to your email list to get the playlist, but then something doesn't work. And so you might want to
Dang.
take a look at that. I don't know what's going on with that, but you should take a
Reach
look.
out to me on Instagram, everyone. This is the thing when you're doing things, trying to get it all done, and technology is not my specialty. Thank you all for listening to that story. I will admit that was, I wrote that poem, and this is the first time I've ever performed my poetry in a public manner. And so I want to thank you all for helping me feel so welcome. And this community, I mean, this cacao community and cacao, helping us find our gifts, helping us go into those dark places and trust. And wow, that fear, where our fear is where our deepest treasures lie, right? I'm thinking. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And I will, okay, let me think. What is the best way to fix this playlisting? If you all are on here, yes, please go ahead and catch me on Instagram. I should still get everyone's names from the forms on that link, and I'll just go ahead and email the link to everyone after this call. So you will get it. You will get your playlist. I'll make it happen. We'll dance the dance together. Yes. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, Arielle.
Much
If
love.
everyone has trouble connecting with Arielle, please reach out to info@keyscacao.com and we'll be happy to direct you to her. Thank you all so much for making time for this. Arielle, once again, thank you.
Thank you. All right.
Bye, everyone.